It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is the morning edition for Monday, August 29th. I'm James Spann. All eyes are on the tropics, but Alabama's weather looking pretty dry and uneventful for a while. Let's go in there and take a look at the tropics, Labor Day weekend, and much more. Water vapor satellite view. It's the ridge. That thing's going nowhere. I mean, it's probably going to go nowhere for at least the next 10 days, which means it's going to stay pretty hot. And then again, that's what happens here in late August and early September. It doesn't magically cool down this time of the year. Fort Payne, the only spot below 70. They've got 68. Birmingham, 78 as the day begins. We'll expect a high in the low and mid-90s today and most days this week. There's a watch warning map. Got some flash flood watches for parts of West Texas. But generally speaking, things are relatively quiet. Convective outlook, a marginal risk of severe storms way up north. Pretty much the same thing tomorrow. And on day 3, much of the country in soupy, moist air, but organized severe weather not expected. Check the rain for the next 5 days, valid through Saturday morning. Look at that, Alabama looking dry. And understand the chance of rain is not zero. Please understand that. Every afternoon, we could see a handful of these isolated storms, but isolated is the key word. Most of you will not get wet. The big rains over parts of Florida and the South Atlantic coast. There's a closer look at this, and this doesn't necessarily mean that all of Central and South Florida is going to see big rains from the tropical system. The bullseye is about 7 inches on the Florida west coast, Tampa Bay down toward Fort Myers. Maybe 4 or 5 inches around Jacksonville. And again, it's awfully hard to draw these maps with the disorganized tropical system. This will probably change, but you can see the basic idea. And again, this is through early Saturday morning. This thing will be pretty much long gone by the Labor Day weekend. Got a beach trip coming up. We'll talk about that. But let's look at the tropics. We've got Hurricane Gaston out in the Atlantic. That is recurving east of Bermuda. No threat to land. Tropical Depression 8. In the Atlantic, Tropical Depression 9 in the southeastern Gulf, and little impulse on the Texas coast that is coming in. First off, let's look at TD number 8. Boy, this thing just lost its convection yesterday. Strong shearing, and basically it's nothing more than a low-level swirl. It's hanging on for dear life. If it can gain some convection, there's a chance it might strengthen to a tropical storm in coming days. That's the track from the Hurricane Center. Kind of skirts the Outer Banks of North Carolina, then recurves out. And again, it remains to be seen if this gets storm status and if it gets a name. And we wonder which, if any of these, will become Hermine or Ian. Okay, this is TD number 9. This is our system in the southeastern Gulf. This was upgraded yesterday. The famous Invest 99L that's been around for so long. It's very disorganized, as you can see. We'll show you the track from the Hurricane Center, and they bring it across the southern Gulf, then they recurve it northeast over North Florida. And, of course, on that track, Alabama stays on the dry side. There's no impact here. And, again, notice Friday night, that thing is way off in the Atlantic, moving away. This is no problem for Labor Day weekend for any part of the United States. So if you're going to Panama City, Destin, Orlando, Daytona Beach, it will be long gone by the Labor Day weekend, which is good. There's always some outliers here. Tropical models in pretty good agreement with the NHC track, and the GFS has been on that idea, very plausible, and we think that is correct. And the intensity guidance, most models kind of leave it where it is, ultimately getting it up to tropical storm status, but this is not expected to become a hurricane. But I remind you, this is a tropical system. Surprises can happen. We'll watch it carefully, but the idea seems to be pretty solid. Let's look at the GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid today at 1 o'clock. And again, you can see the westerlies are way up north. Winds aloft are light and variable with ridging. And again, today looks just kind of hot and sunny. And any storms this afternoon, very widely spaced. There could be a few out there, but not many. And again, you can see TD9 down in the southern Gulf. Tomorrow, same thing for us. Low and mid-90s, lots of sun. Any showers few and far between. The depression moving north. Wednesday, no change. Tropical depression is south of Pensacola, way south of Pensacola. And understand the Gulf Coast should not have much impact at all from this thing. the central Gulf Coast, Mobile, Gulf Shores, Pensacola, through midweek. This is Thursday, begins to kick northeast. And at that point, it should be coming in around Apalachicola. And that's the one day where Panama City could see some rain from this thing. That would be Thursday of this week, September 1. And the surf will be pretty rough. That's the other issue, the danger of riptides and a dangerous surf. Then Friday, it moves rapidly over North Florida, and it's already out in the Atlantic. And understand the whole time, Alabama's pretty dry here. I mean, understand the chance of rain isn't zero, but most everybody's going to be dry this week. And there is Saturday. A lot of things are happening. It's Labor Day weekend. College football kicks off. So for the Gulf Coast, weather looks fine. And understand there might be a storm. There's always the chance of a storm on any summer day down there, but not from the tropical system. It is long, long gone. Auburn hosting Clemson Saturday evening. Weather should be fine, mostly fair. Probably 80-ish at kickoff, upper 70s by the fourth quarter. Alabama out in Arlington, Texas, same thing. Low 80s at kickoff. Now, they've got the roof they can close if they need to, but they won't because the day out there should be dry. So the bottom line is a great weekend for college football, beach, whatever. Sunday, same thing. And a week from today, this is Labor Day, Monday, September 5th, the Ridge holds. And again, we're pretty dry, a very uneventful 7-day stretch for the state with nothing more than very isolated showers. And again, the Gulf Coast for the weekend looks fine. College football looking fine. Here's the end of the forecast period. This is Wednesday of next week, the 7th. Big trough. That's you know what that might bring? Maybe some snow for parts of the northern Rockies. That's kind of exciting. A sign of the times, but now we still got the ridge here, so we're still kind of dry. I mean, it looks awfully dry and hot for the next 10 days, and we note maybe some tropical system sitting on the north coast of Cuba, but of course this is out there in the land of voodoo. Numbers, if you're looking for a refreshing, crisp, cool autumn air mass, no. Through September 13th, highs mostly low to mid-90s and lows mostly in the 60s. We do note the numbers do come down over the Labor Day weekend as some drier air pulls in here. In fact, Friday and Saturday, we might see some upper 80s, and the humidity might be coming down a little bit. But the bottom line is numbers not changing all that much. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.